Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to another video for the Islamic Finance Educational Series. Today we're going to talk about contracts and what are our obligations as Muslims when we enter into contracts. So yesterday we talked about amana, and this is a kind of trustworthiness that we have to have in all of our dealings with people. Now today we're going to talk about business a little bit more, so we're going to go into contracts. So the example for this is verse number 1 of Surah Ma'idah. So this verse starts off with Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil uqud, which translates to, O you who believe, fulfill your contracts. Whenever you enter into what's called an aqd in Arabic, it means a promise or a contract between people, then you must fulfill whatever your obligation is on your side of the contract. So now when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us this in the Quran, it becomes a religious obligation that whenever you're in a contract, you have a religious duty as a Muslim to fulfill that contract. You can't back out suddenly, or you can't break it without permission or something like that. You are now obligated to fulfill it. So this also connects perfectly with amana. Part of being a person who has amana, or amin for man or amina for woman, is that you fulfill your contracts. So as you can see, these things fit in perfectly together. Now if we go forward even more, we have hadith from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, where he mentioned a number of things, and in the end he said al-muslimuna ala shurutihim, meaning the Muslims will always, or Muslims must fulfill the conditions that they agree to. So of course, every contract has a number of conditions. So whenever you make an agreement with someone and you have conditions, you must follow those conditions. And the only exception is if you make, or if someone else makes conditions that make something that's haram to become halal, or something halal to become haram. So if someone makes a contract with you and they put a condition that we're going to make this haram thing to be halal, or we're going to make this halal thing to be haram, that is an invalid condition in the contract. So unless that is in something of that nature is in the contract, then you have to abide by your contract. So you have two things here. You have one, the obligation to fulfill your contract, and two, you have hadith that's teaching you that you must fulfill also the conditions. Whatever conditions that are set out in your contract, you need to fulfill all of those as well. That's part of being honest, and that's part of being a Muslim. So these are the lessons today about entering into contracts and what are our responsibilities as Muslims. As you can see with these principles, it builds up more and more the system of honesty and trust. And these are the principles that we have first. Before we start exchanging money or going into relationships, we have to know what are our obligations and what kind of ethics are we supposed to practice as Muslims. Once we get that done, then we can start talking about the money. So as we go forward, we will come closer and closer and start to explore the different kinds of transactions and deals. Okay, thank you very much, and that's all for today. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.